Here is our registration site. So that you can sign up. That hopefully works. It'll certainly get you to the right page. It is $60 a day for half or full day. Why? We really don't want you to come for a half day. We want you to come for a full day. If you come for a half day, it's on you. My preference is strong. I'd much rather see you there for the whole day. Everybody has a billion good reasons not to come for a whole day, or a billion more good reasons not to come for the whole retreat. And it is not any judgment on my part around how much you come, because I cannot know and do not know your personal circumstance. So I do not want to assume that I know. I will be away part of May myself. I will be Zooming in, consequently, because, well, I won't be here and it will be a different time zone. And right. So these are realities. We live in a temporal, impermanent world. And so, right. And I will still come on, even though I will be at a distance on Tuesday. Why? Because I can, and it's important. And I want all of you to make these same considerations. Sometimes we did a little talking in our board meeting yesterday. We just sent Greg McBain out as our existing president. I think it's literally a whole millennium now. I think Greg's been president for 100 years. Yeah, we were celebrating actively. And then Jim Sinclair, who will be our new incoming president, was presiding. So it was really a lovely, beautiful circle. So I want to just celebrate all the board, Cindy, Carrie, Lisa, Kelly, Anthony, and Dia are all on the board now, as well as Jim and Greg. And well, that board's got stuff going on. I'm very excited about all that they're going to be doing this year, sharing and committing to more. Matt, thank you so much. Also, Ricardo, thank you for those mails. If you don't sign up today because you just have to check on what you're doing, and again, real life, I would like you to try to get to that this week as best you can. If you are in a circumstance where at any moment anything could change, let us know, and we'll sign you up anyway. And then if it can't work out for whatever real reasons, we do know some people are in, well, aren't we all, moment to moment, breath by breath realities. And if we forget that, well, then we would commit to nothing, right? Since that is the truth of our lives. Then if you go, well, it's got to be certain, and I got to be sure I can go, and I got to, I wouldn't do that. Because I think you're putting too much on the possibility that you won't be there, and maybe not enough on the probability that you will. Even when life happens in a way we didn't want and we didn't like, I think there's still possibilities. So please, no, we don't do Zoom anymore for things like retreat. It's just too cumbersome. And I'd much rather have you next to me than some distance away, if I can. And I do know there are people here, of course, where that's not so possible. Yes, it is an amazing board, Robin, and they do deserve a lot of acknowledgement, way more than I ever give them. So they are not here because they get kudos every Sangha. That I really almost never say anything other than, yeah, that's them. They're doing stuff, but they certainly are deserving in a big way. So there's that. Okay. So now we're going to be talking, we're moving into part 2 of Smile at Fear. And part 2 really is about what we were practicing this last week. And that is not only setting the heart of a warrior or a bodhisattva. Remember, we could use those words interchangeably. I prefer bodhisattva because we are already a warrior culture. And yes, there is such a thing as a warrior for the good, but the implication of war is delicate, I think, for us in this time. I just don't know if we can keep explaining that that doesn't mean that, it means this. And so I stay with the word bodhisattva, which simply means one who is completely open hearted and consequently fearless. That is the cost of an open heart, fearlessness. Uh, Chogyam's going to start talking about that today in this chapter 9. He's going to start saying the truth of the warrior is a certain willingness then to be sad. He uses the word tender. He uses that word. Vulnerable, right? He uses that word. And those are all the words he is using as synonym to what? Fearlessness. And so I'm just going to stop there because this is a radical idea. This is not consistent with our warrior culture. That true fearlessness is actually the greatest, biggest, most engaged, most alive, open heart. And so when I say that, what comes up for everyone? What's your auto hit on that truth? Libby said, my lacking of it. My lacking of it. And of course, her willingness to say that changes it right away, doesn't it? Her very willingness to say, my lacking of it, means weirdly, she has it. Now, that wasn't her interest, by the way. The very willingness to say, I don't know if I have what it takes. I don't know if I'm capable of holding this in every moment. And we have already then violated our first premise. Because what's the first one? Very first. Must be. You can only be fearless in the present moment. There is no later. There is no after. There is no next in this teaching. It says you must begin with mindful presence, whole you just here, feeling what? This sadness. And then the brain can barely tolerate it. So it runs off to what about the next one, right? Anybody notice this? I noticed it this week as I was thinking of things I could offer. Remember, that was a part of our practice, not only to offer a bow, a smile, a touch, an act of kindness. That was in our first practices, right? We began with kindness, kindness towards self, then kindness towards others. This week, we were bowing and then saying, if you recognized this, whatever the moment, a moment of beauty or a moment of suffering, you were supposed to contemplate, what could I offer here? You weren't supposed to offer it. This is the week. This is the week, Frank. You're going on the road this week. You're offering it. Because that isn't that true fearlessness. Did anybody notice? I thought of it and then went, ha ha, like back. It happened for me. I saw the person. I saw them wheeling the cart. I thought, turn the thing around. You're going to have to go back over there. And then I thought, oh, but then I'm going to get in other people's way. I'm going to be a traffic problem for people, right? What was that? Fear, inconvenience. And I caught it, which was lovely. And I could feel for myself, which was even more lovely. I could feel for myself in my own contraction, in my own getting smaller. It would be pretty inconvenient And then I might piss off some other people. How many people are we likely to piss off if we are going to truly take this Bodhisattva path? I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of people. Why? Because the minute someone gets vulnerable, it makes everyone more vulnerable,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And it's one of the reasons we can cause harm to the vulnerable because we can't tolerate it. Why says Chogyam? Because it makes us pained, because it makes us sad, because it makes us confused, because it makes us fearful. Because you too, right? If you're in a situation that's difficult, I know that I can be also, don't we? We understand our true interconnectedness, really. We hate it. And we have spent an entire identity of a country now going, no, it's not true. You can be special. You can be better, different, other. You don't have to suffer the realities of this human life because you can be successful, you can make a lot of money, you can be an influencer, you can be popular, and then you can secure. How crazy is it? You can secure your specialness, your separateness, your not like me. I'm not like you in this vulnerability way, and then cause harm. Because Chogyam said the view itself is going to do damage to you. The view, just deciding that that's not me. This is separate. I can't think about the Ukraine. I don't want to. And guess what just happened in the last 20 something years in our world? Our world blew up, didn't it? It became caring for an entire world, didn't it? And yet we have a job, and that's just to be here, doing our best here first, beginning with what did Chogyam say? Oneself. Because if we can't stabilize that, what's the possibility for ever being able to act in a way that is supportive of both Gaza and Israel? Right? We have an entire world that hasn't figured this out yet. And then we go, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to, because I don't have a easy, quick, convenient, predictable, guaranteed. What's the other things we do with outcomes? Pleasant solution. No, you don't. No, I don't know if there is such a thing. Do you? I don't know if there's a convenient, pleasant, non controversial, everybody agrees reality. Forget solution. And so then Chogyam says, since we know that what this will take is wholehearted bravery just to be one's true self, not somebody else, you're the way you would do it. Uh, it puts us all then right on the line, doesn't it? And there I am with myself in the car, nobody to bear witness but me. And I go, that probably wasn't the right thing. By the way, it wasn't the right thing. And it was right for me to recognize it and then to say, wait a minute, right? It is, I understand what's happening. You're going to have to, and you don't know if they'll be, and what do? I have to remember again. I have to put money in my side thing. I keep forgetting. That's on me. That's on me. Because then I got to dig and I got to be quick and I can't do it and I got to turn around and it doesn't work. And right, this is not so hard, is it? So we're just talking about one small moment, one small moment. But given the moment that was there, where could I then offer kindness? Given that one small moment, we have billions a day. What could I then do that was still open hearted that was still an act of bravery, that was still caring. I could give it away, Dennis says, and he's right, but to me, right? Then I could give it away to me and go, it's okay, sweetheart. There'll be another chance. You'll have infinite opportunity for this. And it's okay because what? I'm turning towards, I'm opening up. I'm opening not only to the person I did not benefit, I'm opening to myself who I did not benefit. And I can benefit us both now. How did I do it? I could benefit us both right now. How? Write it in chat or come on and say. Right that moment when I went, ooh, I probably could have turned this thing around. How could I benefit us both right now? Some people are by compassion. How? Where? Courtney?
Compassion for yourself in the face of fear, and maybe a little bit of face of like failure of not being able to extend it, and compassion for the other that is lacking and needs, and the emotion that that person must be feeling as well.
That's right. Right? Does everybody understand what Courtney just said? We do, don't we? And what if I couldn't do it all? What could I then do? Robin, you're onto it, so you come on and say it. If I couldn't do it, if I couldn't be compassionate, right then,
Tonglen.
Tonglen, what could I be breathing in then? My inability to open, my fear. I could breathe in fear. I could breathe in failure. I could breathe in lack of courage. I could breathe in both of our humanness, who went, I don't know how that person got in their situation, but I'm in a failed one also. I could breathe for us both, couldn't I? And that is compassion, what we call compassion in all directions. That's one of the Shambhala perspectives. Compassion always ultimately is in all directions, no matter where you start. Isn't that lovely? Don't you love that idea? Compassion is always in, remember, he calls it the great eastern sun or something. He has a lot of astrological. The great eastern sun is always shining, he says. It is never not available. It is never not present. There is nothing that obstructs it, really. There is just these little moments of grip, these little moments of appeared fear, but not really. Well, not really, because the minute I didn't turn around, I went, wait a minute. I could see clearly for us both, the truth of our human tenderness. I am not always going to get this right, and neither are you. And isn't it okay? Wouldn't it be? To go, but I am going to keep trying. And where then, once I am awakened, where then can I place the goodness? And the teachings say, in any direction, pick a spot. And if you can't do it for you and you can't do it for them, do it for the drivers you thought you were going to disturb, right? Those people rushedly on their way to try to what? Support their families, their loved ones, their communities as well. Well, I can't do that either. Well, can you do it for the green in the grass? The wave in the pond, because I was going right by the golf course. And I actually had that thought. Maybe I could put all this suffering, I thought, in that pond. Because maybe the pond could hold it if I can't. And then maybe you put it in a tree. or you put it in the bird that's light, right? It doesn't, you get what I'm saying? There's always a moment. It's every moment. There is the path. It's right here. There is a practice. It's right here. And the reason we practice all those other moments then is what? So that they come to heart mind and we don't just dull more, deaden more, get busier, get more distracted, more stressed, so that we can wake up now, if not now, if not now, right? And then there's no such thing. This is what we mean by unobstructed. In every moment is simply possibility. And we already know to include ourselves in the difficult ones is where the real practice will be, because we will fail. It's guaranteed, folks. Who signed up to get an A+ in here? A+ on the Bodhisattva path? Forget about it. Forget about it. It's always an F. Isn't it? Isn't it always an F? And how brave of you to sign up for a course you're guaranteed to fail. Look at all of you. There are 20 of you here going, I am not going to get this day right. I didn't even read the chapter. I'm just showing up. I can't even remember yet last week's homework. I hope she goes over it. Because I don't know. I don't know what I was doing this week. It was none of that. Except you're here now. Then, right? You're here right now. This counts. What can we do now? Well, we're going to begin by forgiving ourselves over and over and over. Compassion for ourselves over and over and over. Why? I know you fucked up this week, because so did I. I know you didn't get it right, but you did. But then you did, didn't you? Because you're looking, because you care, because you're going to take it on. You're going to go, blew it 9 times. I could have said much more politely to my husband, I understand that you're selling the e-bikes, so you're on the phone all day long. Did I say that? I did not say that. That is not what I said. I said, really? You're still on the phone with the e-bikes? Oh my God, this is like more than a full-time job. Let's throw them away. Wouldn't it be easier? Yes. Whatever else was happening there, folks, I can promise you, it was not my Bodhisattva heart. But I saw it. But I saw it. And when I saw it, I could feel for me going, wait a minute, who is this talking? This is just you who wants some attention. What are you not offering yourself? What are you not offering yourself that you now think you need? What? From who? And why? That doesn't mean we are not deserving of care and attention, right? Because we are. But guess whose job it is to begin? Us. So I went, and then what? In this moment, I could say, I'm so grateful that you're really actively getting rid of these bikes, because I truly am. It's more true than any of the, really, you're going to be on the phone the whole day. And by the way, the truth is, he is going to be on the phone the whole day. And I'm going to say that's going to be for another week or two. And the bigger point is, he's actually doing that for me. He is not doing that for him. And I forgot. He's doing it for me because we have 200 billion. Has anybody noticed? E-bikes all around our house in parts and right. And I went, I don't know if I can do this. This is blowing my small mind. Right. And so every moment, awakening, every moment, open heartedness, every moment. And this week, you are going to be called to one of two things. What would you suppose, though? You only have two options this week. This moment, noticing failure, contraction, aggression, doesn't matter. And then what's the job? You have only two options. What do you suppose those might be? Yes, I am pretty funny, Kathy, aren't I? Yeah, I crack everybody up. You know why? I'm always trying to say what's true, and the truth is a riot, isn't it? The truth is a true riot, because if we're really honest about it, we're hilarious, aren't we? You could only laugh at yourself and then laugh with them, right? Then we laugh with others in it, not ever at. What can we do? We're going to create two options, and then we're going to practice, and then we're going to look at the thing. What can you do this week? I noticed the moment of failure. Let's start there. Breathe in for yourself, says Libby. Breathe out that goodness for others, because that's the good heart. Moment of failure. What can I do? I can breathe in for myself, recognizing this as a moment of complete failure. Remember, we're going to get an F if we're doing it right. And then breathe that goodness, because you've already made contact with it right there. Breathe it out for everybody. And I don't care who you hit with it, send it in all directions. You don't even have to name a name. If you can, or if you go, I know somebody else who could really use this, that's lovely as well. But I don't often. I don't want to think that much personally. I just send it to whatever I can see in front of me, and then I extend it beyond what I can see. And I'm sending it over in that neighborhood that I cannot see, and I do not know, and I don't know those people either, and I want the same for them. So that's number one practice. Breathe in for oneself, remembering one's basic goodness by this very act of waking up. Breathe in for yourself. Make sure you touch your own good heart first, and then we send it out. We're not giving it away, it's expanding. This is the second mistake, is that we think we have to give something up. We're not. We're making it stronger, larger, bigger, is all. That's still your heart over there in the next neighborhood, by the way. You're just over there too. That's still your heart over there on the next palm tree that's not in your yard. That's your good, basic goodness and good heart too. So that's number one practice. Breathe in, moment of failure, moment of reactivity, moment of fear, moment of disappointment, moment of helplessness, moment of confusion, moment of just not wanting to, moment of anger, moment of rationalizing, moment of defensiveness. We could spend the next hour with me describing all these possible moments. You get the idea. That's number one practice. What's the number two practice? Seeing it in yourself. What would be number two? Only have two options this week. What would make sense for you? Recognizing it in others, their failure, because that's suffering, folks. We're using the word failure because I know you're so Western, you all get it. But really, the word we would use in the Tibetan tradition is simply suffering. But I'm not going to do it because everybody thinks that's soft and cushy and has a nice tone of voice. And it doesn't. It's right. Somebody was screaming the other day. I'll give you an example. I actually had to practice this at Starbucks with my husband. We're sitting there, and a person who's clearly mentally ill is walking through the parking lot with swearing at, of course, everyone, including the cars that now feel very trapped and stuck as she is walking along, leaning into cars, not so much, but screaming at them and calling them all kinds of things, including the N word, and right. And people are activated in the line. And everyone is. And people who normally sit at Starbucks are not sitting there. And I go, I think I'm going to have to call the police. And my husband goes, that's not very nice. I don't know if you should call the police. I said, oh, no, I'm not calling the police because I think that person's the problem. I think somebody's going to get hurt. If this continues, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to jump out of that car at that N word and really pummel this person. And I don't want that to happen either. So, right. And he goes, well, do you think we could, she's too agitated to offer coffee. That's not a wise move. And so I watch her walk across to the bus stop and I decide, okay, she's not interacting anymore. She gets on the bus. And I thought, okay, what may need to happen is that bus driver, if that continues, will have to call somebody in. Right? And then I spent the rest of the Starbucks breathing goodness to her, recognizing suffering. We breathe for the other and we take in the difficulty. Right? This is it. We're sending out goodness or we're breathing in the difficulty. These are considered radical acts of real action. They are not considered passive, and they are not, are they? And Chogyam says, if you can't do this, what's the hope of them being skillful in the world? If you can't remember this, what's the hope of cultivating, creating a skillful world? Well, now it's zero, isn't it? Because I can't even do it with the breath that I focus on every day, that I try to drop into to offer myself stability, that I drop into my heart to try to recognize and remember my goodness. We do a lot, don't we, with the medium of the breath. And so this is our work. We're going to breathe in, remembering, offering ourselves goodness, remembering that goodness, and sending out goodness, right? Goodness, goodness, goodness. Or we recognize suffering and we willingly take it in. So you know what people ask me typically? Anybody guess from this instruction? Dennis says, yes, you can offer the phrase, you like me. That's correct, Dennis. Beautiful. What do people ask me? How many breaths? How many breaths do I have to do that for? What's the answer? What's the answer, Lynn?
Every breath.
Every breath. Libby said as many as you can.
Yeah.
That counts. I'll go with that one. Just this one, we could also say, right? Because why? Because I know for sure if you can take one, you can take two. Janine's smiling because she knows two. If you can take one, you can take two. Why? We understand the path. I have set the table. If I can do it once, I'm already here. I can stay. I can do it again. And if I can do it 2 times, I can do it again. So that many times. And whatever that looks like, right? But I have a lot of people go, what's the number? Give me a number. Because I don't know. The number is 1. Then. Isn't it? 1. Because I know if you can do 1, you're probably going to do 2. Yeah, just like chips, Janine says. That's right. So you can't start opening that bag because once you open the bag, the whole bag blows up. Okay, so we're going to trash it. This, and then we'll look at the part of the chapter. It's a little bit of a long chapter. I kind of have summarized it right here. Take a sip. So for Ricardo and for, I thought somebody, Matt somewhere. If you don't understand this, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter at all. I don't have any interest in anybody conceptually understanding any of this, by the way. It's not important. I do want you to follow the instructions, though. Okay? I still want you to follow them. And you get to follow them going, I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm not sure it's going to work. I don't even know if I'm going to like the feeling. It's all fine. By the way, it's all fine. You're going to do it anyway. That's the commitment. Okay. And we're going to review it again here in the practice so that you can get a strong felt sense. So let's prepare to sit. And here we now have, thanks to Denise, our bell. And it's on, so you'll be able to hear it. And so we establish an inner and outer posture. The outer posture is one of stillness, one of uprightness, one that is supported, one that is wakeful, one in which the heart is open and the head gently tucked. And just take that posture. And in the Zen tradition, we say, assuming the posture on the outside ensures that dignity, that nobility, that basic goodness on the inside. Just taking the posture. And then we set the posture on the inside. How do we do that? We call to mind our basic goodness. That we have been placed on this precious earth, given this gifted human life for one purpose, to contribute to the benefit and the well-being of not only ourselves, but all beings. And the Bodhisattva chooses this rebirth again and again until all beings are happy, awakened, and free. And so we sit just like this. We sit in that nobility, we sit in this basic goodness, we remember who we really are. So you can begin by breathing into the heart space, making real contact with this humanness. We breathe in for ourselves, nourishing, nurturing. Setting aspiration and intention. May I be awakened this moment. And then you'll notice at the end of the in-breath is an out-breath, touching our own basic goodness. We send it out with the out-breath, all the way down the body, into the stillness, and then out. Send it like a radiant light, Send it with a phrase, may all beings be happy and free. You may use a phrase as you touch into the heart space, tender. Good. You may recollect a moment of goodness, a moment of kindness, a friendliness as you touch into your own good heart. These are all methods for not only thinking about the good, but recollecting the good. Send it through your whole body, making that heart larger, bigger. And then at the end of the out breath, in that still point, we send it out. And I'm hearing a bird right now. And so I'm sending some metta, some maitri, some kindness, some recollection of our shared vulnerability right to that little bird. Sending out this very basic goodness to my sister. Who will send it to others? Who will send it to others? We soften the shoulders, relax the body with the out breath so that the heart can expand beyond the body. When we are in doubt, in confusion, in disappointment, in aggression, let's begin by remembering our more basic, more all-inclusive, always available goodness. Fill the whole mind, body, and heart as is its nature. And then we send it out. Love, greeting, love. Goodness, meeting, goodness. on the in-breath and on the out-breath. And all the space in which it comes and goes. We imbue goodness, inner, outer, and both. We remember the truth of this. Always here, always available, never diminished. In a moment of difficulty, I can breathe in for myself. And remembering that all beings, just like me, get confused or greedy or angry or scared. And I can send that breath out with the memory, with the knowing of their goodness as well, and offering ours to them. You could also catch a moment of goodness in another and take it in, remembering we all have this capacity for goodness, and then remembering it in yourself. And then the second practice today for this week is recognizing a moment of failure, of difficulty, of confusion in ourselves. We remember this is a moment, this is a part of being human. This is the vulnerability, the fear, the sadness of being alive. We can feel for ourselves, send it out. The extension of the loving kindness practice is self-compassion. And then we can begin to recognize without enmity, without aggression, without judgment, the humanness in others. And rather than judge, condemn, shut down, turn the other way, we stay and we breathe in their very difficulty. We take the dis-ease, we take the confusion, we breathe in the anger, and by the very breathing it in, we convert it like that snowflake on a hot coal. We metabolize it into goodness. And then we send it out. That white steam, that warm, glowing light, as Pema says, that warm blanket, that cup of coffee. We let our hearts break open for the truth of suffering in this life. And we send out the good. And though it could feel like, often I remember this in early practice, the heart hurting, it's actually just breaking open. Old hindrances, old constraints, old small armor breaking free. And we let it. And then we touch each moment and offer what is most appropriate, what is most needed, what will be of greatest benefit. We can breathe in, remembering our goodness, and send that goodness out. We can breathe in, remembering, knowing, seeing, confronting a moment of difficulty. And by our very alchemy of this human life, we convert it by our very willingness to stay. And we send that goodness out. And then every breath becomes a response. Every breath is the realization of the path, of the vow, of the prayer. And all is good, and all is well. Breath by breath. turning everything into gold, everything into goodness. This is the truth of the Bodhisattva heart. This is the path and the training of the Bodhisattva. And may it be of benefit. So be it. Yes, every day we are working on this. Take a minute, just let that metabolize. You may notice that you have a greater capacity in one direction at a moment or another. This is circumstance, conditioning, equalizing. It is not because you are not capable. It is because the conditions of the moment may make you more available to one than the other. It doesn't mean that kindness, unconditional friendliness, self-compassion, compassion for other are in any way different. It's just responding to something different with one's whole heart. But it requires the wholeheartedness in whatever direction you go. Just so you know, it isn't like, well, that one doesn't count because this one's better. It's better if I could send it out, not have to offer it to myself. This is not accurate. It is not true. They all require one's wholeheartedness. Begin where you can, then, because accessing one's whole heart is the point. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can't pull up for us the chapter 9. This is the most famous chapter in this book, which is now many, many years old. I just killed the book. Let me see if I can't get it back. Right in front of me. So this chapter, if you were going to reread or reflect on any chapter, this chapter would very probably be a good one. The other chapters, I think, are... I'm trying to pull this. Okay, I think I've got it. Let's see if we can find it. It's just coming back. Okay. Chapter 9. There we go. Hopefully we can see that. This chapter, I'm going to try to move us down. There we go. This chapter is called Overcoming Doubt. Isn't it perfect? Isn't it perfect? Why? Because we're going to fail. We're going to get the F. It's guaranteed. This is the path. So when everybody runs into this, as everyone, including myself, will, we quit because we go, this just doesn't feel good. Well, no, it's not that it doesn't feel good. It can feel great if you can remember this then is the opportunity to offer the open heart. I'm just going to need to begin with myself in a way that we are not comfortable, we are not friendly, and we think we should not do it. I shouldn't have to do it. I should just be able to send it out. It is not true. It is not true. The neuroscience says it so. It is not accurate. If you cannot offer it to yourself, you cannot offer it to others. You've heard me say it 10,000 times. I'm also going to pull up my phone because I have underlined some additional things here, and I want to have access to that. Here we go. So in what you can see is in paragraph 1, the warrior relates to the basic situation of being a human. Remember, I'm not going to use the word anymore, really, because it's not very consistent currently. You know what it means. There is strength building in this. There is muscle building in this. There is a whole path of discipline in this, and that's what he's talking about when he says warrior. No aggression, no conflict, no hatred involved. Then I wrote right under that, which you cannot see here, the heart of the warrior is this basic aliveness or basic goodness. This is what I was just talking about, wasn't it? The heart of the warrior is this basic aliveness or basic goodness. This is the practice for us this week. Then I've also started here. Doubt is the first obstacle to fearlessness that has to be overcome. Could anybody think of another word than doubt? Because again, I'm not sure that doubt is totally all he means. Judgment, Libby said. What's another way doubt might show itself? Anybody have any ideas? What's another way doubt, the doubt he's talking about, might show itself? Someone says the unknown. Yes. What do we do with the unknown, Dennis? When we confront the unknown, what's the habit? Insecurity.
Release.
Yeah, fear. Well, the unknown is not usually greeted with friendliness. It is greeted more commonly with insecurity, fear, disconnect, busyness. Remember, we have a whole bunch of strategies for how to attend to this. So doubt really is talking about the belief that one's just not capable and all the other things we do. All the other fears we play out, all the other insecurities, I'm not capable, it's not right, and the aggression that will come with it. The aggression towards oneself, not giving oneself what is most needed in order to be most available and open-hearted. That's an act of aggression towards the self. That would be included in this doubt. So don't just be careful. Doubt can look like one thing. It means all of that. The strategies that we cultivate against our insecurities, against our feeling failed, against our believing we're not enough. Tara Brach calls it the trance of unworthiness. The trance of unworthiness. It's very apt, isn't it? And then we are referring here to overcoming a much more basic doubt, which is fundamentally doubting yourself and feeling that you have shortcomings as a human being. He puts it right on the line for us there. And then the next one I have is in this when you are growing up line. And I have here, when you heard the word no, he's trying to explain how we got to this. When you heard the word no, I got to get rid of this so I can get to it. You may have responded by trying to fulfill that no by being good. I love this. This is so true of us. That's one of the strategies. One of the strategies is to fulfill that goodness by being so good. But we have another strategy, and we do both. The other one is to confront the no and decide that you're going to resist, you're going to work against, you're going to attack, you're going, no, I'm not taking that no, I'm going to, and we do both, don't we? Anybody notice this? We go into the small child that goes, I just want to be loved. Let me find the way. This is not what we mean by open-heartedness at all. This is just a strategy to get what we think we need, the love we need, the care we need, the attention. Or the other one is fuck everybody. I don't care about anybody. I don't care what's going on. Just shut up. Don't get in my way. And we do them all. So don't believe you're one-sided in your capacity, because you are not. You're going to notice. Can you notice this week how I bounce between, I just want to get along, I just want to get loved, but coming from what Janine called that insecurity, or I don't care. I don't care how it goes. I don't care what happens. And those strategies we both use. We usually pick someone to marry who's got the other strategy, just so you know. So if you're the, I'm trying to get it right, I just want to get along, you've probably picked somebody that's saying fuck you half the time. Why? We're both fearful. We're both fearful. We're both insecure. We're both confused. We both want love and don't know how to find it. Why? Because we're looking somewhere else than our own good hearts. And we couldn't once, right? We weren't capable once. We are capable now. Then I have, when we don't acknowledge our doubt, it manifests as resistance and resentment. I'm going to go all the way to anger and aggression. He leaves it somewhat there. I would take it further. And then I have here, we feel that our parents or others don't approve of us. We can't basically get what we need. So that's what he's saying here. The basic no, on the other hand, is accepting discipline in our life without preconceptions. Normally, when we say the word discipline, it means the practice. We're going to stay in the practice even when it's hard, even when it doesn't feel good, even when it feels like we're failed, even when we go, I don't see the point, not the problem, because we're going to do all of that. Because we are all going to get an F in this basic practice, but growing muscle every time you do it. And that's the part I want you to remember. There is a gata, and a gata is a repetition of phrases. And this gata that he's referencing here in chapter 2, I think this, is gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisattva. Gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisattva. I'm going to send that to you in the Sanskrit, and you're going to practice it. Gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisattva. If you need a little space in a moment, recite the phrase. Right? If you needed a little space, wouldn't it be cool? People would at least go, what? What did you just, I was just talking about the gate. Gate. Space creating, number one. Space creating for you and the other. And also beyond what I believe is possible, beyond what I think I'm capable of, beyond this sense of separation between us, which in fact does not exist. It's simply a delusion. Gate. Gone away, these small ideas, to rest in our basic shared goodness. When we refuse to have any contact with that state of being, when we turn away from our basic goodness, then wrong beliefs arise. What is this? The belief of separation, the belief of permanence, the belief that if I could secure me, everything would be okay, the belief that if I could only get rid of you, it would all work better. These are all false beliefs called delusions. Then further down in that next chapter, once a warrior may not always be a warrior if we disregard the beauty of the phenomenal world. What he's really saying there, and we're going to be practicing it during retreat and you're going to see its value, is that we can rest in this sacred world, right? We don't have to try to get rid of it. We don't have to disavow it, which was a practice at that time. We actually can use the beauty of our phenomenal, relative, everyday world and breathe that in for ourselves as nutriment. We don't have to cut it all off, starve ourselves of our own goodness, is really what he's saying. And then beyond the trees, beyond the plants, beyond the sky, beyond the ocean, is then the reality of the goodness of you. No different, because what? Not separate. We can breathe this in too. So when you can't find the goodness, the truth is, it really is, I can't find the goodness in me. Can we use the phenomenal world in its goodness and beauty? The answer is always yes, right? In any direction. Then the next chapter, the ground of fearlessness, which is the basis for overcoming doubt and wrong belief, is the development of renunciation. Renunciation here means overcoming the very hard and tough, aggressive mentality, which wards off any tenderness, any gentleness. We put on the armor, don't we? And fear is the only factor, because it's heavy, it's constricting, it bears you down, it weights you down. You don't get to be you in the face of that. To contact that genuine presence, freshness, we have to renounce what? Not the world, the armor against it. Just so we make sure that that's clear. It's been very confused throughout lifetimes, really. People have confused this since the beginning of the time of the Buddha and beyond. Renunciation looked like no food, no clothing, no material things. This was always misunderstood, and the Buddha himself came to that, by the way. He said, oh no, that's not what we're renouncing. We're renouncing our fear for fearlessness and open-heartedness. We're renouncing our armor, but we can't just get rid of it. We have to feel under it, don't we? We have to feel for ourselves and the truth of the tenderness that is just beneath it. We can't just condemn the armor either. Is spiritual bypassing. It would not work. The remedy to that approach is renunciation. I don't want to read that. The warrior tradition is fearlessness, is connected with attaching your basic existence to the great vision, the great Eastern sun. This is where he starts to say, this bright light of goodness shines on everything. And if you don't see it, it is not that you are failed, it is that you are fearing. Right? You are fearing if you can't see it. It is not because, in fact, you are failed, but fearing. Can we hold ourselves then, remembering the great Eastern sun that is also us, is key. He talks about laziness. We are all very lazy. In fact, that inconvenience that didn't have me turn around the car is an essential laziness. But we cannot treat it as an enemy, he says. We cannot treat it as the enemy. We must understand what? The basic fear, the basic insecurity, the basic I'm not enough, the basic trance of unworthiness, and fill the holes of that with what? Our remembering our basic goodness. Warriorship is tender, he says. He's trying to also redefine the term. We're going to just call ourselves bodhisattvas going forward. Without skin, without tissue, naked and raw, Soft and gentle, what we would say honestly, is that we are dissolving every breath. We are dissolving any sense of solidness, any sense of separateness, any sense that I am not you, you are not me, we are not this together. And that's what he means by without skin. When you he goes on to talk about how even in a moment of true, he was talking about the samurai here, by the way, even in a moment where you are going to slash the enemy, you would not do so with hatred or aggression. You would do so simply because you understood that to allow this harm to continue, greater harm would result. But you would see it clearly and not as simply the saving of your own ego. The saving of your own ego. You would say, no, this is no more, but you would do so with all the love, all the compassion, not only for yourself, but for the other. The greatest act for the other that would be required. Slash is quite a big term. I probably wouldn't say that. I would say something like what? Stopping harm. Stopping harm. Like for that woman that I talked about at the bus stop, I was like, I don't know how to help her not cause harm to her. It wasn't even the others, because they could roll up their windows and drive off. It was, I'm worried that she is going to cause harm now to herself, and this may not be best left unattended. And then what do we do? By the way, no one knows, do you? You do not know what you will do. You only know that I am here to offer something. Maybe it is the wish, maybe it's the phone call, maybe it's that cup of coffee, right? We can't know because we're not in the moment, right? And our job is to get in the moment so that we can see clearly what it is. And then the final, when the warrior has thoroughly experienced his or her own basic rawness, tenderness is probably a slightly better term for us now. There is no room to manipulate the situation. You are simply present here, doing whatever it's called for. I don't know. It might be walking away. It might be offering a blessing silently. It might be handing somebody a sandwich. It might be, right, breathing in their difficulty and sending out your goodness. So tenderness brings simplicity, he says, and naturalness. There isn't so much thinking going on. You don't stop to wonder. The very stopping of myself in that car collapsed what I think could have been a moment of connectedness, right? Oh, but then I got to turn. Then I'm gonna, right? And I know how to drive. I've been doing it a little while. I'm sure I could have gotten around the corner, right? But the minute thinking comes in, we are almost always actually moving into some kind of contractedness, aren't we? Yes. So be careful. If you're thinking, what should I do? What should I do? You're already in trouble. You did not then do the thing you were most called to do, because that would just happen. Wouldn't it? It just occurs. It arises. Out of goodness for me and goodness in you, this. And then the car goes around. And it doesn't even become, well, how do I do it? And when do I do it? And right, I've been driving only for 50-something years. Okay. We get this idea. Then we're going on to more discussion about these exact tools of bravery next week. And then on Thursday of next week, we will begin practicing them in, while we're resting in the sacred world at Quest Haven. There we go. Any thoughts or comments before we say our prayer and go on to live this day. Comments, anyone? I remember when I first understood the path of the Bodhisattva, and I thought, I'm not cut out for this. I don't have any. Who am I thinking I might be in order to live this? And it was because I believed mistakenly that the idea was to be successful. What a crazy, ridiculous idea. Had simply by the ego. How am I going to get this right? And it took me 30 years to realize that it was the wrong question all along. That it was never going to be getting it right. That was never going to happen. And that it was actually perfect like that. And so be careful, because this will pull you back into this right, wrong, good, bad, me, you. We polarize, we separate, and we dichotomize then. And we have to be watchful. How am I going to get it right? Well, we're starting from you're not. And you're going to go anyway. What a relief. Here's the truth. You cannot cause more harm than you're not going. Can you? And I don't care what you said, and I don't care what you did. You could not possibly cause more harm than not being present to this life. Could you, Lynn? Nope. Wouldn't matter what you said, wouldn't matter what you did, wouldn't matter whose name you gave, wouldn't matter. Because it's the very willingness to stay in you and then with the other is everything. And then any good possible could only come from it. And you didn't do anything. You just stayed. And then we have to give up what the second idea, I can fix this. I can make this better. This is as much ego as not believing we're capable, is believing we're the whole solution. This is as dangerous and deadly, isn't it? I can do it all. Really? Really? Do you, like, not me, but I can do what I can do. And that's certain. Right? I can do what I can do. And that is going to count for a lot. And I want us to understand the distinctions, because we set ourselves up on both sides. I've got to fix it all, or I can't do anything. And they're both completely deluded, 100% wrong. And I can do what I can do, and I can't know what that is yet, because I'm not in this moment, right? And then I want you to risk doing it, whatever that is. Turn the car around, sit back down, right? Offer a phrase, breathe it in. Do something with the precious present moment that you have. They're all usable. Okay. I think we get the idea. All right, so we're going to get ready for our prayer. I will recite the Gate phrase and send you a little something in the summary. I think I have a little clip of the Dalai Lama reciting it. This is something he also says every day, in addition, by the way, to the prayer. And then we open our hearts completely. Breathing in, feeling for ourselves. Arriving to the present moment with this full, tender, open heart. And then gathering our hands and our hearts. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge, for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are free from sorrow and all are awakened. Gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhi svaha. Gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhi svaha. Gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhi svaha. May we all have happiness, ease, well-being. May we remember our blessings. May we offer them as abundantly as we have received them to others. And may our practice today only grow and flourish and never diminish until all beings are free. So be it. So I think everyone could hear the bell, hopefully. I hope so. I think I got it worked out now, so that we can actually use that together. Yes, way to go. Glad we've got it. Looking forward to seeing you. Greg will be here on Thursday for our 7 to 7:30 sitting. We will be in the garden this Saturday, but then of course not next Saturday because we will be at Quest Haven Retreat Center. So this will be the last Saturday, and then the Saturday after, I think I will be in Chicago. So I think we're going to have a couple Saturdays off. So if you wanted to try to make it to a Saturday in the garden, this Saturday would be good because I think we'll be off for a couple because I will also be traveling. So I'll put that in the summary as well. Thank you all for your practice, for being willing to walk this Bodhisattva path with me and each other. It is treacherous. It is treacherous path alone. And I would say, honestly, then not possible. So I'm so glad to have you on this path with me. And thank you. Be well, everyone. I will look forward to seeing you on Thursday and or Saturday. Be well. Live this day well. There's a lot of breaths in this day that we can use skillfully. And I'm counting on you. Thank you. Robin, good to see you. Erman, good to see you. Leslie, good to see you in Israel. Thank you all.